Today we're going to talk about the Emmys, the Emmy Awards. I won these Emmys fair and square, and I get a lot of questions from people about the Emmys, about what did you win it for? What was the project? What was the experience like? By the way, do you ever notice people in videos like this, they say, oh, I've been getting a lot of questions about blank. And I always wonder, are they really getting questions about these things, or is this just some like clever way to talk about whatever they want to talk about? I do get questions about the Emmys. That part's true. And I will tell you the Emmy story. I will also tell you what the Emmys taught me about marketing. I think it's actually really interesting, and it's something I probably only could have learned by working on the project that I worked on. So let's jump into it. This is an Emmy. I won it for a 20-part series that I helped produce on astronomy. It was called Astronomy Observations and Theories. The Emmy was for instructional programming, which just means that we can take complex ideas and translate them into something that people can understand. Now, the Emmy Awards were super fun. I got to fly to LA. I was a producer on the project, so I actually got to go on stage and receive the award. This was the LA Area Emmy Awards, a subset of the Emmy Awards. And what was super cool about this was that they held the ceremony at the actual Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. That's the group that puts on the Emmys. Intimate theater, Emmy statues like carved into the proscenium of the theater. Lots of celebrities there, B-, C+ celebrities. The person that actually delivered our award was none other than Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Bart Simpson. Now, what's interesting about the Emmy project was that I didn't know a lot about astronomy going into the project. I was working with experts in astronomy. We were interviewing famous astronomers. We had scientists on the board that were reviewing the scripts, but I didn't know a lot about astronomy. And I think that's what gave me an advantage when it came to creating instructional programming. I came at it from a little bit of an outsider's perspective and had that beginner's mind, which meant as I read through the scripts and I was editing this project, I started asking questions like, hey, how do we make this simpler for someone to understand that doesn't know what you know? Now let's talk about how that translates into marketing, because I think the same thing is true in business. Business owners are such experts at what they do that it's hard for them to see the business from the outside, to have that beginner's mind. A good mentor of mine, Michael Redman, he always says, it's hard to read a wine label from inside the bottle. That's powerful. And big companies with large marketing teams realize this. They hire outside agencies, not because they don't know how to do their job and not because they couldn't do it themselves, but because they want that outside perspective. And if you feel too close to your business to communicate it clearly anymore, that's normal. And that's usually when it helps to bring in somebody with outside perspective. If that's something you need help with, reach out. I'd love to hear your story.